Whitney Houston was one of the greatest vocal talents of her time and an international superstar. But her story is also filled with addiction and heartbreak, leading to a brilliant life cut short. Here are the tragic circumstances that drove this international icon on the stage and behind the scenes. Whitney Houston's love of singing began when she was just a child. At the encouragement of her mother, Grammy-winning artist Cissy Houston, she joined the New Hope Baptist Church Choir in Newark, New Jersey. Her mother was responsible for overseeing the music program, and Whitney's cousin, recording artist Dionne Warwick, was also a part of the choir. Whitney told Rolling Stone in 1993, "My mother was the first singer I had contact with. She sang constantly to us around the house, in church. I used to watch her in the feeling. My mother always said to me, if you don't feel it, then don't mess with it, because it's a waste of time." A 2018 documentary, Whitney, alleged that Whitney Houston was sexually abused as a child. The film was directed by Kevin MacDonald and traced the singer's rise and fall. MacDonald said in an interview with Vanity Fair, there was something very disturbed about her because she was never comfortable in her own skin. The details of the decades-old trauma came to light during the filming of the documentary, 5 years after Houston's death. The singer's former assistant, Mary Jones, alleged that Whitney had suffered abuse as a child at the hands of her older female cousin, soul singer Dee Dee Warwick. Her brother Gary has also confirmed the reports, according to the Chicago Sun-Times. Sadly, these childhood scars seem to have stayed with Whitney Houston for life. Whitney's older brother by 2 years, Michael Houston, told Oprah Winfrey in a 2013 interview that Whitney followed his lead when she first tried drugs. However, he didn't realize things would get so out of control. He said, "I feel responsible for what I let go so far. We were always, being together most of the time, and her following behind me."
I taught her to drive, we played together, and everything that you do together as you're growing up, and then when you get into drugs, you do that together too.
When Oprah asked Michael whether he was the one who actually let her experiment with drugs for the first time, he explained that back then, in the entertainment world, drugs were everywhere. He also said he was ignorant about how bad drug dependency could get. Winfrey stated Michael's sad situation plainly. "So the first time she did it, it was you. So that's the demon you live with." Houston replied, every day. That's something I've got to live with for the rest of my life." 7 years after losing Whitney, lifelong friend Robyn Crawford spoke about the depth and nature of their lifelong relationship. In a memoir titled A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston, Crawford revealed details about her friendship with the singer. The pair met at a summer camp in 1980 and hit it off immediately, with an adult Crawford admitting about their early years, "We wanted to be together, and that meant just us." The young women were immediately infatuated and soon shared a first kiss and a night together. In the years that followed, Crawford remained in Houston's life. However, as soon as Houston scored a contract with Clive Davis, she told Crawford that she had to end their entanglement. Crawford wrote, "She said if people find out about us, they would use this against us. And back in the 80s, that's how it felt."
My private life, that little piece of my life is mine. I want to keep that.
Though she remained in the singer's life, professional and private, Crawford respected Whitney's wishes and remained mum about their relationship for years, though she hinted at it in the media as early as 1987. Whitney Houston's eponymous first album made it to the market in 1985. When she was 21, it topped the American charts and became a sensation globally, eventually selling 22 million copies on the strength of singles like How Will I Know. Her 1987 follow-up, Whitney, performed even better on the global radio charts and became the first album by a female artist to ever debut at #1 on the Billboard charts. Houston later revealed that to many industry people, her success was a foregone conclusion, and the pressure to be a musical success had been palpable since childhood. She told Rolling Stone, "People were interested in me from the time I was 15. It was kind of like they were just waiting for me to grow up. Everybody put their bids in." As soon as Whitney decided to enter the industry, she realized there would be little time for reflection. She had to learn the trade fast. As she put it, "I had no time to grow up. I had no time to party. I didn't even date in my 20s. I wasn't that normal 20-year-old young woman going through her phases. I was a millionaire by the time I was 22. In 2002, Whitney spoke at length to Diane Sawyer about fighting addiction to alcohol and prescription drugs, as well as substances such as cocaine and marijuana. As she put it, "I partied a lot. Trust me, I partied my tail off. You get to a point where you know the party's over. I'm not as excited anymore about it. It was new. I partied, and it's done." Houston was asked whether she would ever touch drugs again, to which she responded that she couldn't say, but that she didn't want to hurt herself. She said,
"I'm not a person who wants to die. I'm a person who has life and wants to live."
However, the battle against addiction was a long and tough one for Whitney, filled with public controversies. As recently as 2011, just a year before her death, Houston was back in rehab for a heavy cocaine habit. Her spokesperson at the time, Kristen Foster, told ABC News that Whitney had chosen to take the step on her own. Whitney Houston's 14-year marriage to Bobby Brown was tumultuous, to say the least. It's believed that she decided to get hitched to Brown to get away from the relentless pressure and speculations about her relationship with Robyn Crawford, who still remained in her life as an employee and close confidant. However, the couple had a difficult marriage from the beginning. For one, they made each other's addictions worse. Whitney's stylist, Ellen LeVar, explained, "She did more cocaine. He drank more. But when they got together, they both started doing more cocaine and drinking. It just manifested itself in a really bad way." Moreover, Brown was allegedly jealous of his wife's success and fame. When Oprah Winfrey asked Houston about this, the singer admitted that her ex-husband was indeed jealous. She also revealed that she tried to divert attention from herself and would ask people to call her Mrs. Brown. Whitney told Oprah, "He never liked the fact that people would say, 'You're jealous of her. You're just jealous of her fame and her fortune and what she has and everything.' And he would get really pissed off. But it's not abnormal for a man to feel that way or to feel that he was lacking." Whitney Houston worked hard to put up a brave front. No matter how toxic marriage became or how deep she slipped into drug dependency, she persisted. The face-saving family reality show Being Bobby Brown was canceled after only one highly rated season, though the cancellation happened because Houston herself declined to continue. The singer later told Oprah, "I just wanted people to know that I was his wife." Oprah pressed further and asked whether Whitney stayed with Bobby despite being unhappy in order to prove her critics wrong. Houston agreed that Oprah was correct.
I was trying to make a statement. Like, you guys aren't going to win. She's not going to do that. We got married. We were in love. We were crazy for each other. We wanted to have a family.
Houston also stayed silent for a long time about her domestic troubles. She spoke about being spat upon by her ex-husband on his birthday, an incident she said was witnessed by daughter Bobby Christina. Houston also went on the record about the couple's predilection for cocaine-laced marijuana cigarettes and the piles of the illicit stimulant drug kept on hand at all times. The couple divorced in 2007, with Houston gaining custody of Bobby Christina. Whitney Houston's commercial success peaked with 1992's The Bodyguard original soundtrack, with her cover of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You spending 14 weeks at #1 in the US. Houston also starred in the hit film. However, no subsequent Houston record would equal the total media saturation of The Bodyguard, and by the 2000s, Whitney Houston's career was facing several challenges. During this period of commercial decline, stories of Whitney Houston's drug abuse became as well known as her past career victories. Sadly, her voice noticeably suffered in a way that was impossible to deny. After several stalled projects, uneven tours, and stints in rehab, it became clear that Houston's famous upper vocal register had been damaged beyond repair. The Guardian reported Houston trying to save face with a London audience in 2010 after failing to hit the high notes of her best-known hits. In Australia, per Rolling Stone, she couldn't recall what her backup singers were called, and she coughed relentlessly. Shows like these earned immediate negative feedback from attendees, and recordings of the performances regularly earned attention online. In the years following her divorce, the relationship between Whitney Houston and her daughter Bobby became central to her life. Bobby often kept her mom company when Whitney went on tours, and would occasionally join her mother on stage as well. Bobby Christina also looked after her mom as much as she could, as Whitney continued her fight against addiction. A relative told the Daily Beast about this special relationship. Honestly, Whitney in many ways depended on Bobby Christina more than Bobby Christina did on her. That was her friend, confidant, and her protector. No matter what she did or how drunk she got or how much her voice cracked at times, Bobby Christina still loved her so much and never gave up on her. Sadly, Houston passed away at 48 after weeks of reportedly erratic behavior. The singer drowned in a hotel bathtub, and multiple substances were reportedly in her system at the time. Bobbi Kristina was heartbroken over her loss and spoke about it in interviews, saying to ABC, "I can hear her voice and her spirit talking to me, telling me, 'Keep moving, baby.' I can always feel her with me. She humbles me." Almost 3 years after Whitney's passing, Bobbi Kristina was found in shockingly similar circumstances to those of her late mother's death. Discovered unconscious in a bathtub, Bobbi remained hospitalized in a coma for 6 months until passing away from pneumonia in July 2015. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration's 24/7 national helpline at 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357.